The dog's just come back from his walk, so you might be able to hear panting. Anyway, I'm making Cheese-Loaf and Ratatouille, and I haven't made this for ages. So Ella chose this because, again, I'm not eating tonight, so...
it's a two-serving
and it's a two-serving recipe, yes. So yeah, I'm using, I think it says halloumi or grilling cheese, so I'm using the grilling cheese from Aldi. I'm not going to use a food processor today. We'll keep it...
Really?
Yeah, I'm going to grate it.
He's still trying to pant through his nose. 4 years old. Doesn't know how panting works.
So he's laying with his chin on the floor so he can't open his mouth and trying to pant at the same time. Right, there you go. Grated halloumi. Doesn't take long. Everything goes into this roll, doesn't it? Blitz, yeah, in the food processor. So I'm not going to do it in the food processor. I'm going to do it in a large bowl.
We are making Cheese-Loaf, Carrie. So it's like a... Well, it's a vegetarian... It started off as a veggie burger mix.
Yeah.
But it didn't hold up well enough for us to just have it as veggie burger, so we made it into a loaf. And so now it's kind of like a meatloaf made of cheese.
Yeah, it's a meatloaf made of cheese.
So what were you doing? Because I wasn't paying attention.
Sorry, so that's the courgettes. So 50 grams of courgettes gone in with the cheese. Do you want leek or shallot?
Go for shallot. Why not?
Leek or shallot, they're both the same carb value. About 3 grams of carbs per 100. There you go, just half a shallot, it's fine. It says diced red, but I haven't got red, so you've got green or yellow?
Yellow.
Yellow.
It's the closest thing to red.
Okay. It's going to be a very bright cheese loaf, this one, because the one in the picture has got reds and dark greens, but because I've not used the skin of the courgette, and we've not used
what did you do with
pepper.
the skin? Was it just a bit...
It's just a bit wrinkly, yeah, it's just a bit wrinkly, so I've just trimmed it off. I was going to do a video about this. I got a delivery from Buy Whole Foods online a couple of days ago, because I'm now getting sort of the ground almonds, but same for things like coconut flour and psyllium husk and linseeds. Because we go through a fair amount of this stuff, it's just easier to order. So that's a 2.5 kilo. So it's the equivalent of, well, actually probably nearly 20 bags from the supermarket.
Yeah.
It costs the same per kilo. That's the point. It's or maybe even a fraction less. You won't get it much less. I think they work out about 12 or 13 pounds a kilo, which is the same as supermarkets.
The bag is huge.
The bag is huge. I am having an issue with storage at the moment. I will admit to that. We need to get to IKEA so we can go and get some more kitchen cupboards because we're desperately short. The recipe says 10 grams of coconut flour, but is also an alternative of using some psyllium husk instead. Right, and I've got some fresh sage.
Nice.
Is that okay?
Yeah, from the garden.
Yes, from the garden.
It's the only plant we can ever take care of.
Well, it's just gone nuts again. It's absolutely gone absolute nuts. So,
having sage everything. We can do the turkey and sage meatballs. You could put sage in.
Well, I'm going to see if I can dry it in the Ninja. I've only got about 6 or 7 leaves. Sage.
Into bowl.
Into bowl. Everything just goes into the bowl. Now I'm actually thinking, for once, paprika doesn't really go with that.
Oh wow, okay.
Not with the sage. The garlic does, definitely.
Yeah.
So a teaspoon of garlic powder. Right, and I will add some salt and pepper to that. Right, so it's quite loose. If I was to sort of get hold of this, it would stick together. Okay, so it will stick, but I'm just going to sort of put it in and then press it down. So obviously it's a lined tin. You do want to make sure you line it.
Does it have to be halloumi cheese for this recipe?
No.
I find it really salty. We were going to try it with paneer.
Yeah, so you can use paneer. You could probably use the mozzarella ball as well.
Yeah, so kind of like our cheesy wraps that started off as halloumi and then obviously went to halloumi, paneer or mozzarella ball. I reckon the same thing.
So paneer is very similar to halloumi but without the saltiness.
What are you doing with the Ninja? What temperature?
I've just turned the Ninja on. It's on 180 and I've just set it for 30 minutes. I'm just going to give it a couple of minutes. It won't probably take as long in the Ninja. First time we've tried it though in there. But yeah, this is a very, very cute little tin. It's 9 centimetres by 16 centimetres. think I got it from Wilkinson's. You get
Probably,
you got 2 tins for a couple of quid. Ideal for the almond butter bread, the tahini bread.
Yeah, that's the tin we use for any of the mini loaves.
Any of the mini loaves, it's perfect. You can still get sort of a good sort of 10 slices from this, or even a 2-egg linseed loaf.
Or the half zucchini.
Yeah,
loaf.
or split the zucchini loaf. But yeah, so there you go.
There you go. Archie's tail just went past.
There you go, David. He's just walked past. Ratatouille. It's actually one of the staples in this house.
You making yourself a cuppa whilst we're on the line?
Yeah.
So this dinner is essentially veg and cheese.
Yeah, it's veg and cheese. Actually, it sort of shows that, 2 things. One, keto isn't 0 carb. It's the best carbs. That's what you want to focus on. And 2, the protein source that we've chosen, i.e. the grilling cheese, the halloumi,
and eggs. There's an egg each in there as well.
Are also sources of fat. So, I don't know what the you better sort of look at the packet actually. What's the grams of fat per 100 grams on those?
25. So it's an even,
100.
Yeah, it's an even split.
So it's an even
21
split.
protein, 25 fat.
So the cheese is an even split between fat and protein. And obviously, when I cook this, I'm going to add a little bit more fat. That's the whole point about this. And our lifestyle is that we use real protein that comes with fat naturally, and then we're going to add a little bit more fat into this dish, so into the ratatouille.
David says, what brand is your tea?
What brand? I picked it up in Morrison's yesterday. It's okay. So they're £2 a box. This is not a promotion for them. I am not being paid to hold this in front of a camera.
Your loaf isn't in the oven.
Oh yeah.
It's cooking in the sun right now. It's hot enough.
So it's now in the Ninja. The Ninja's fully warmed up.
The Ninja only takes like 2 minutes to warm up.
The
Ninja's been cooking itself for 10 minutes. Hi, Debbie.
Tin of essential chopped tomatoes, and I'll do some fresh garlic.
I do wonder when I sit down to edit the YouTube videos, I'm like, well, how much of this is useful, and how much of this is just us going on about random stuff. That's why the YouTube videos are so short.
What, you take out all of it?
This video will be 10 minutes long.
Right, okay. Before anybody asks, it's an induction hot plate from IKEA, and these are Blackmore induction pans.
Again, where is the sponsorship?
And they're brilliant.
Nowhere.
They're brilliant. I got a whole set of them a few weeks ago.
They are very nice pans.
They're fabulous. You barely have to clean them. It's like run them under the tap, wipe them out, done. Actually, a conversation I had with somebody a little earlier about spices and herbs. So the dried things we've got in the cupboards. Yes, they're all carbs, but don't be afraid of using them because they're all full of nutrients. And the amount that you use, so even like paprika, the amount that's in here, about 50 grams of carbs per 100 grams, but you only use maybe 5 grams for any meal, so very tiny amount.
Is lazy garlic okay to use instead of fresh?
Yeah. Lazy garlic's fine actually because it's just chopped garlic in an oil of some sort.
Yeah. So is that everything in now?
That's all the veggies in. I'm just going to sort of sweat them down. I didn't measure the oil as you saw. It was about 30 mils, maybe 40 at the most. You could use coconut oil if you wanted. Not the same set, but a perfect fit. That's the pan that came out of. Oh, and Aldi have got them in at the moment. There's a
big casserole pan.
There's like a casserole pan that can go on the induction and then go in the oven. So very good. So that's the lid for that one. Do you want some sage in this as well? Or do you want a different herb in this one?
But sage would work, wouldn't it?
It would work because it's tomato based.
Yeah, go for it then.
Right. Okay. Don't want to overdo it, but it is going slightly brown. So the courgettes and aubergines are going slightly brown. Don't want to overcook them because they'll just turn to mush. Like I say, let that come to the boil. It's instant on this. So I've knocked it down to simmer for a few minutes. Recipe calls for some mascarpone. So 100 grams, so it works out about 25 grams per person. However, if you don't have mascarpone, you could always use sour cream. So very similar. Or creme fraiche. So obviously this is lower fat, but it's naturally. So what's that one?
Well, same with sour cream, isn't
yeah,
it?
same with sour cream. In fact, that's higher than the. So it goes that way. So more, less, and even less. So it's your choice really, which one you prefer, which one you've got in the fridge. It's just to give the sauce a nice creamy sort of texture. So
considering the loaf is made out of halloumi, I'd rather go sour cream.
yeah, I thought so. Using sour cream, I'm going to use 100 grams of that.
Will it freeze okay?
Yes, absolutely, 100%. Even with the cream in, yes. If you want to, you can freeze it as a tomato base and then add the cream when you know, defrost it and mix it again, or it'll freeze with that in, no problem.
And the Cheese-Loaf will freeze as well, will it?
Cheese-Loaf will freeze, absolutely, yes. Which is actually about 2 or 3 spoons, that's it.
It's actually quite thick, that's
It is very thick, isn't it, this one? Nice.
Creamy ratatouille.
Creamy ratatouille. Right, we'll give that another couple of minutes on there. One thing it does need is seasoning.
Oh, wow. So the test is, it doesn't look baked yet.
Not quite. Actually, you can't quite see it there. So you can see, there you go, colours come in. It's just a little bit soft in the middle still. It's almost there. It's almost there. Yeah, a little bit sort of watery in the middle still.